Welcome to QuickBytes Education. Today's QuickByte is all about points, lines, rays, and planes, the basic building blocks of geometry explained simply, quickly, and clearly. Let's get started. Before you can understand angles, triangles, circles, proofs, or coordinate geometry, you need to understand the basic language of geometry. And that starts with four simple ideas: points, lines, rays, and planes. These words may sound basic, but they show up everywhere in geometry. If you understand them early, the rest of geometry becomes much easier to follow. In this lesson, we'll cover 5 things. First, what a point is. Second, what a line is. Third, what a ray is. Fourth, what a plane is. And fifth, the key test words you need to know, like line segment, endpoint, collinear, and coplanar. A point is an exact location. That's it. A point does not have length, width, or height. It just tells you where something is. On a diagram, a point is usually shown as a dot. Points are often named using capital letters like point A, point B, or point C. Think of a point like a pin on a map. The pin marks one exact place. In geometry, points help us build lines, shapes, angles, and graphs. So even though a point is simple, it is one of the most important ideas in geometry. A line is a straight path that goes on forever in both directions. A line has no endpoints. That means it does not stop. On a diagram, a line is usually drawn with arrows on both ends. Those arrows show that the line continues forever. A line can be named using 2 points on the line. For example, if points A and B are on the same line, you can call it line AB. Here's the key idea. A point shows a location. A line connects locations and keeps going forever in both directions. Now, let's compare that to a line segment. A line segment is part of a line, but unlike a full line, a line segment has 2 endpoints. So, if you draw a straight path from point A to point B and it stops at both points, that is line segment AB. This difference matters. A line goes forever. A line segment stops. A line segment can be measured because it has a beginning and an end. A full line cannot be measured the same way because it keeps going forever. A ray is also part of a line, but a ray has one endpoint and goes on forever in one direction. On a diagram, a ray starts at a point and has an arrow on the other end. The endpoint is where the ray begins. The arrow shows the direction it continues forever. For example, ray AB starts at point A and goes through point B. The order matters. Ray AB starts at A. Ray BA would start at B and go the other direction. So remember this: a line has no endpoints. A line segment has 2 endpoints. A ray has 1 endpoint. That comparison is very common in geometry questions. A plane is a flat surface that extends forever in all directions. You can think of a plane like a perfectly flat sheet of paper that keeps going forever. Of course, real paper has edges, but in geometry, a plane does not end. A plane has length and width, but it is flat. It does not have thickness. Planes are often named with a capital letter, like plane P, or by using 3 points that are not all on the same line. Planes are important because many geometry figures are drawn on flat surfaces. Triangles, rectangles, circles, and coordinate grids can all lie in a plane. Now, let's add 2 important vocabulary words. Collinear means points are on the same line. For example, if points A, B, and C all sit on one straight line, they are collinear. The word co means together, and linear relates to a line. So collinear means on the same line. Coplanar means points or figures are on the same plane. If several points lie on the same flat surface, they are coplanar. Again, co means together, and planar relates to a plane. So coplanar means on the same plane. These words often appear in definitions, diagrams, and proofs. Here's a simple way to remember everything. A point is a location. A line goes forever in two directions. A line segment stops at two endpoints. A ray starts at one endpoint and goes forever in one direction. And a plane is a flat surface that goes forever in all directions. If you can remember those 5 ideas, you have a strong foundation for geometry. Points, lines, rays, and planes are not just vocabulary words. They are the foundation for the rest of geometry. Angles are made from rays. Shapes are built from line segments. Coordinate geometry uses points and lines on a graph. Proofs use points, lines, and planes to explain why statements are true. So when you understand these basics, you are not just memorizing definitions. You are learning the language geometry uses to describe the world. Here's what you just learned. A point shows an exact location. A line is a straight path that goes on forever in both directions. A line segment is part of a line with 2 endpoints. A ray has one endpoint and goes on forever in one direction. A plane is a flat surface that extends forever in all directions. Collinear points are points on the same line. Coplanar points are points on the same plane. And points, lines, rays, and planes are the basic building blocks for angles, shapes, graphs, and proofs. If this helped you understand points, lines, rays, and planes, watch the full Geometry Basics playlist next. Like, subscribe, and keep building your math confidence with QuickBytes education, one quick bite at a time.